throughout their lives, right? 50 said when he got into the record business, he was shocked at how political people were, how manipulative they were. So they weren't having that same reaction. They weren't having the guilty reaction like, oh, that I don't want to read about that. Why do we even have to discuss that? That's not positive. That's not helpful. That's, I think, a lot of what triggered people.
It's funny because I was speaking to a CIA agent recently, and he said something at the end of our conversation to me. He said, you know, one of the things I've come to learn from being in the CIA is that I no longer believe that equality is possible. And he said equality, yeah, because that's just not the way that the human world works. And we all pretend we want equality. We all pretend we want everyone to be equal. But if you look at every game we play, whether we're politicians or we're business people or whatever, it's all about hierarchies and power and getting ahead. Even the sheer nature of being a politician is campaigning to get into a position of, you know, objective power. And I wanted to know what you thought about that.
Well, I mean, there's some truth to it in the sense of there's something in our nature that is hierarchical, that has deep roots in us. But I do believe in one form of equality, and that is everybody at their birth has the possibility for following the path that I talk about in Mastery, for being great, for fulfilling their destiny, for being the unique individual that they are at birth. So everybody is born with a DNA that will never be replicated in the past or in the future, right? There is a uniqueness about every person. And there's a uniqueness about your parents, about your background, about your early years, right? And that uniqueness is a seed that if you cultivate it and you use it and you know your purpose and you mine it for power. In Mastery, one of the master I interviewed was a woman named Temple Grandin, who was born with severe autism. At the age of 2, she was about to be committed to a hospital for the rest of her life. She was like, almost like in a walking coma. So for some reason, they got her a teacher to teach her language, and she started emerging a little bit. And then slowly she blossomed. And she realized, because it was something common to a lot of autistic people, that she had an incredible connection to animals. And a lot of autistic people have that. She couldn't connect to people. They were so tricky and deceptive. She didn't know how to deal with them. But animals, give her a horse, a dog, a cow, she felt like she was one of them. She ended up following that path and becoming a high-level animal behavioral scientist who... she was born with autism, about to be committed for a hospital, and she